If you want comfort, stop watching now. But if you want power, the kind of power that makes a woman think of you when she's alone, restless, and can't explain why, stay. Machiavelli understood it centuries ago. People are not moved by logic or morality. They are moved by fear, desire, and control. And women are no exception. What I'm about to show you is not polite seduction. It's emotional mastery. A system that bypasses her logic, takes hold of her instincts, and makes you the center of her emotions without her ever realizing how it happened. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to create obsession. Not attraction that fades. Not interest that can be replaced. Obsession. The kind she hides, the kind she doesn't want to feel but cannot escape. This is where attraction begins. Your job is not to impress her with logic, but to spark a raw emotion she wasn't expecting. Until she feels something in your presence, you remain invisible. Most men fail before they even start, because they chase approval. They think their job is to impress, to entertain, to keep her smiling no matter what. They lean on jokes, compliments, expensive gestures. But here's the brutal truth. Logic never creates desire. She won't remember your resume, your perfect manners, or your flawless pickup lines. What she remembers is how you made her feel in her body, in her instincts, in that part of the brain that doesn't speak in words but in fire. Machiavelli would have warned you centuries ago. People do not move because of reason. They move because of emotions, fear, hope, tension, hunger, and desire. If you don't know how to touch these levers, you will never command her attention. So here's how the first pillar works. Your job is not to convince her. Your job is to create a shift, even a small one. If she's cold and polite, break that script with a calm but unexpected remark. If she's guarded, don't soften yourself to match her energy. Cut through it with silence, or with a question that forces her to pause. If she's distracted, don't fight for her attention. Let the weight of your presence make her notice you. What matters is that you disrupt her baseline. You move her from one emotional state into another. Maybe you make her laugh when she wasn't planning to. Maybe you spark irritation mixed with curiosity. Maybe you slow her down when she expected speed. Each of these shifts hits her nervous system like a jolt. And once that happens, you're no longer forgettable. You're imprinted. But here's the hidden layer most men never grasp. It's not enough to trigger emotion. You must hold your center while it happens. When she reacts, don't pounce on it. Don't rush to explain. Stay calm. Stay unshaken. That stillness in the middle of her storm forces her brain to connect the feeling with you. She thinks, why did I feel that with him? What is it about him? And that question is the hook. That's the beginning of what later becomes obsession. Think about it. When someone triggers emotion in you and then doesn't seem to need anything back, doesn't ask for approval, doesn't try to milk the reaction, you can't stop replaying it in your head. It sticks because it feels rare. That's the exact dynamic you're building here. So the first law of emotional capture is simple. Stop trying to be logical. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to entertain. Instead, focus on provoking emotional shifts, subtle, primal, unforgettable. Because when you control how she feels around you, she can't forget you even when you're gone. Now we arrive at the second pillar of emotional capture, anchoring her feelings to you. Here's the truth. Emotions on their own fade fast. A laugh disappears in seconds. Tension dissolves. Excitement cools down. But if those feelings become tied to you, they last. The human brain is wired to explain sensations. When someone feels something intense, their mind instantly looks for a cause, and 9 times out of 10, the cause becomes whoever is closest at that moment. That's why your mission isn't just to spark emotion, it's to become the container for it. Let's put this into a real-life situation. You're single, talking to a woman you've just met. Maybe you tease her lightly, and she bursts into laughter, louder than she expected. Most men would jump in with another joke, desperate to keep it going. That kills the magic. Instead, you pause, look at her, and say calmly, "That laugh, I like it." Then you move on as if nothing happened. What did you just do? You didn't claim the moment. You branded it. Now every time she thinks about that laugh, she'll subconsciously link it to you. Here's another angle. Imagine you're on a first date, and she's telling you about something that clearly frustrates her. Maybe a toxic coworker, or a situation with her family. She vents, her emotions rise, and while most men would nervously change the subject, you stay calm, grounded. You look her in the eye and say, "I can tell you carry more than people realize." Silence. Then you shift the subject. What happened here? You gave her frustration meaning and tied it to your presence. From that moment forward, her subconscious reads you as the man who sees through her. That's anchoring. This is the essence. When she feels an emotional spike, joy, irritation, relief, curiosity, you mark it with your presence, not with neediness. Her body feels it. Her brain explains it, and you become the explanation. And once that association is formed, she doesn't just like you. She feels pulled toward you without knowing why. That's emotional capture in action. Now we step into the third pillar, silent control, the art of leading without force. Here's a Machiavellian truth. Power is strongest when it's invisible. If she feels you are trying to dominate, she resists. If she feels you're trying to impress, she loses respect. But if you act as though you already know where things are going, calmly, without pressure, she follows. Not because you demanded it, but because it felt natural to. Let's bring this down to everyday life. Imagine you're in a relationship. Your girlfriend is upset, pacing, maybe over something small, a late reply, a planned plan that fell through. Most men panic here. They over-explain, over-apologize, bend themselves trying to fix everything instantly. That only shows weakness. Instead, you stay calm. You listen. You let her vent. And then you say with quiet certainty, "I get that you're upset. We'll handle it. Sit down. I'll take care of the rest." You don't raise your voice. You don't argue. You project steadiness. And what happens? Her storm loses force. She exhales. She relaxes. Why? Because your presence just proved stronger than her chaos. This is silent control, not barking orders, not flexing dominance, but radiating calm so deeply that following your lead feels like the safest option. Another simple scenario. You're out with her, and the group can't decide where to eat. Everyone's throwing options, stalling. Instead of asking, "So, what do you want to do?" you step in. "We're going to that spot on 5th. You'll like it." Said with calm certainty, not arrogance. Suddenly, the hesitation dies. The group follows. She notices, and deep down she feels something primal. This is a man who leads. That's what Machiavelli would have admired. Influence without resistance. Direction without noise. Because when she feels your calm leadership, attraction shifts into something deeper. Trust mixed with desire. Now we move into the fourth pillar of emotional capture. Creating tension, then withdrawing at the peak. Machiavelli would have warned you. People cling hardest to what they fear losing. Desire doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in uncertainty. If you're always there, always available, always easy, she stops noticing you. But when you give her intensity, then step back, you become unforgettable. Think about it as a single man. You're with a woman, the chemistry is alive, she's laughing, leaning in, fully locked on you. Most men would stay glued, desperate to stretch the moment. But you stand up at the peak, smile and say, I'd love to stay, but I have to go. Then you leave first. What happens? Her body craves more. Her brain replays the moment. You didn't give her closure. You gave her curiosity. And curiosity is the spark of obsession. Now picture it in a relationship. You've had a perfect night with your girlfriend. Laughter, intimacy, closeness. Instead of overextending, instead of scrolling with her until you both fall asleep in boredom, you stop at the high point. You lean in, kiss her deeply, whisper, "Good night," then roll away and let her fall asleep, craving your touch. In that silence, her mind stays awake. Why did he stop? Why do I want him closer? That gap makes her desire burn hotter than any endless attention ever could. This is the paradox most men never grasp. The less she has of you in the moment, the more she needs you in the long run. Because tension without release lingers. It echoes. And when you control that rhythm, giving and withholding, you stop being predictable comfort. You become the pulse she can't ignore. Here's the fifth pillar of emotional capture: becoming the reference point for her strongest feelings. Machiavelli would have reminded you, people don't stay loyal to arguments. They stay loyal to the emotions tied to the person who provoked them. A woman doesn't remember the details of what you said. She remembers how her body reacted when she was with you. If she felt excitement, thrill, comfort, or even jealousy in your presence, her mind anchors those states to you. And that's how obsession begins. As a single man, imagine this. You meet a woman at a party. Everyone else is small-talking, blending in, boring her. But you create a shift. You say something unexpected. You tease lightly. You make her feel a spike of adrenaline she wasn't expecting. Then you stay calm, as if nothing happened. The laughter lingers. The spark lingers. Later, when she's home scrolling on her phone, her brain replays that moment and associates you with the thrill. She doesn't even understand why you come back to her mind. You just do. In a relationship, it works the same. Your girlfriend comes home stressed, overwhelmed by work. Most men would try to fix it with logic, advice, or distraction. You don't. Instead, you pull her close, look at her, and simply say, "I like it when you finally let go." She exhales. Her body softens. She feels relief and calm she couldn't create on her own. That relief is now tied to you. Every time she feels chaos, she knows your presence equals release, and that bond becomes unbreakable. Here lies the real control. You don't try to convince her with reasons. You let her feel. Then you let her mind do the work of linking that feeling to your presence. That's why when you master emotional anchoring, she doesn't just like you. She can't stop craving the state she only experiences near you. We now arrive at the sixth pillar of emotional capture, the quiet dominance that makes her follow without realizing why. Machiavelli would have said, "The strongest rulers rarely raise their voices. Their power is felt, not explained." In seduction, it's the same. You don't demand, you don't beg, you don't justify. You simply move as if the outcome is already decided. And women, guided by their primal wiring, lean into that certainty without knowing why. As a single man, this shows when you're out with a woman you've just met. She hesitates about what to do next. Most men ask endlessly, "Do you want to go here? Do you want this? Are you sure?" That constant seeking of permission drains all tension. Instead, you say calmly, "Let's check this spot. You'll like it." You don't over-explain. You don't wait for approval. You project certainty. Even if she had doubts, your frame pulls her in because it feels easier and more exciting to follow your energy than to resist it. In a relationship, this silent authority is even more vital. Say you and your girlfriend face a conflict. Maybe plans fell apart. Maybe she's emotional. Maybe the night is chaotic. Most men panic, overtalk, or try to appease. But you don't. You lower your tone, slow your breath, and say, "We'll figure this out. It's handled." No shouting, no debating, just calm control. Her body responds before her mind does. She softens, because she feels you can hold both her chaos and your own. That sense of being grounded around you is addictive, because it's rare. Here's the truth. Women don't consciously choose to follow the man who shouts the loudest or gives the most. They follow the man whose energy is so steady, it feels like gravity. And once she feels your silent authority, she will trust your direction in ways she doesn't even understand. This is the final stage of emotional capture. Everything before, provoking emotion, anchoring it to you, guiding her state, bending her perception of time, creating subtle tension, embodying silent authority, leads here. The seventh pillar is about turning attraction into something that feels inevitable. Machiavelli would have warned, true power is not forcing someone to obey. It is making them believe they chose it freely. And that is exactly what happens when a woman feels her own desire pulling her toward you so strongly that resistance no longer makes sense. As a single man, this could unfold after weeks of casual encounters with a woman. At first she was curious, then intrigued, then restless when you weren't around. Now she finds herself thinking of you before bed, during work, even when she's with others. She can't explain it. You didn't flood her with attention. You didn't chase. Instead, you became the silent thread connecting her emotions. Every high, every low, every pause. She linked them to you. Now, when she finally leans in, it doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like fate. That's inevitability. In a relationship, inevitability looks different, but even deeper. Imagine your partner facing doubt, life stress, external temptation, uncertainty about the future. Most men panic, beg for reassurance, or try to buy affection back. But you remain steady. You keep living your mission, holding your presence, letting her feel the fire and the safety at once. Over time, she realizes something primal. She can't picture her life without you. You've become the axis of her emotional world, the man who anchors her storms and ignites her desire. She doesn't stay because she should. She stays because her body and mind refuse to let go. This is the highest level of control, not control by force, but control by inevitability. When every emotion she feels around you deepens the bond, when absence makes her restless, when presence makes her alive, when uncertainty makes her crave resolution, she is caught in a loop her subconscious doesn't want to escape. And here's the brutal truth most men never learn. Women don't fall for logic, for possessions, or for empty promises. They fall for inevitability, the sense that this man is not one option among many, but the gravity pulling everything together. You now hold the kind of knowledge that changes everything. Attraction is no longer a mystery. You've seen that it is built through emotion, tension, and presence, not through begging, gifts, or waiting to be chosen. You've learned how to step into a room and become the one she feels without knowing why. This is bigger than women. This is about power itself. The ability to guide how others feel around you is the same ability leaders, kings, and rulers have used for centuries. It's the invisible force that makes people lean in, follow, and never forget you. And now, you carry it too. But remember, power is neutral. Use it without discipline, and you create chaos. Use it with strength and clarity, and you create loyalty, desire, and influence everywhere you go. So decide right now, will you keep living like the man who waits for approval, or will you step forward as the man who bends the game itself? When you embody these pillars, you stop chasing life. You make life chase you. From this moment forward, you are no longer ordinary. You are the man who writes the script, the man others can't ignore, the man she can't escape. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life. My book is now available, The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.